Today, I'm going to unbox and take a look at Commands and Colors, Medieval, Crusades. Yes, now you are in command. That's kind of the slogan or motto or fighting chant of Commands and Colors. This is the first expansion. You can see right here, expansion 1 to Commands and Colors Medieval. And Commands and Colors Medieval is a continuing effort to expand Commands and Colors to different eras and genres of fighting. There are Ancients, there are Napoleonics, there are fantasy, there are Games of Thrones, there's even space out there somewhere. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description to my unboxing of Commands and Colors Medieval, the core game. This is the second printing, and I talk a little bit about the basics of Commands and Colors, but also kind of take a tour of my collection of Commands and Colors games. I don't have all of them, but I do have quite a few. So take a look at that, which is in the description down below. And I also want to thank GMT Games, which is the publisher of this expansion and of most of the Commands and Colors. Not all of them, but most of the Commands and Colors, but including the Commands and Colors Medieval. I want to thank them because they sent me this copy for me to take a look at. So I'm going to do not only an unboxing, but I'll eventually do a play through or two and try to do an after-action report to give you some feel and flavor for this expansion, for this game, for this system. So let's take a look at the back here and see what we have. This is truly an expansion. You will need the core game right here, and this is heavy because it's got a lot of blocks that need to be stickered, by the way. And there's going to be some more blocks and some more stickering in your future if you were to pick this up. So let's take a look at the back here. Crusades Mid-Eastern Battles is the first expansion for the Commands and Colors Medieval. Hey, I told you that already. We've jumped ahead some 500 years to the Crusades. Yes, the first Medieval starts at the kind of the beginning of the medieval age, around the 500s. This expansion contains 20 scenarios that focus on some of the major engagements of earlier Crusades. There are many similarities between Byzantine battles and the medieval base game and the battles fought during the Crusades. Horsemen are still dominant. The Crusades boast powerful knights on one side, challenged by deadly Mid-Eastern mounted tactics on the other. However, there are differences. The infantry are no longer mere cavalry speed bumps. They have learned how to survive and fight back. Both sides have new unit types that make battlefields more deadly. There's a lot of new units in this box. New units include auxiliary bow infantry, crossbow infantry, foot and military order, knights, like the hospitallers and the like, Turcopo light bow cavalry, heavy knight cavalry, and military order heavy knight cavalry. God, mouthful. There are new game concepts: relics, retreat and panic, crusader, impetuous pursuit, cavalry, interpenetrate. Golly, I need to get my coffee with me. Feigned flight, light cavalry swarms, and shower shooting. All add historical depth and flavor to the mini-game mechanics from your Commands and Colors Medieval base game. There are also new and updated inspired actions for Crusader Army and 3 different Mid-Eastern armies, Turk, Fatimid, and Ayubid. Man, I need some coffee. The tactics available to you conform remarkably well to the advantages and limitations inherent in the various Crusader and Mid-Eastern army units. Crusades is a vintage Command and Colors. Luck is always a factor, but more importantly, it's up to you to make the best of what you have to achieve victories. For 2 players, 1 hour per battle, complexity is 5, and solitaire is 5. I find the solitaire to be a little bit lower than 5 when you are trying to play it two-handed. However, if you have the CDI Solo System Assist, it's got medieval right there, then this helps out. This is not a true solo bot. It doesn't make all the decision, but it kind of helps manage the cards of the opponent so that you're just not sitting there going, well, of course they're going to attack to my right because that's where I'm strongest. Anyway, so it does assist in the solo and makes it takes up some of the decisions, but you're going to have to make some decisions and definitely have to make the rolls, right? But we all love to roll. All right, here we go, getting inside this bad boy. Let's see what we have in store for us. Now, the one thing about this is I've like to keep all my expansions in one box, but with the cubes, it's kind of hard. You got a nice thick box here. I would like to put it back in the main box, but I'm thinking the main box is already pretty thick with a huge bag of cubes, or blocks, I should say. Cubes, blocks, they're blocks. They're thick. So I'm probably going to have to keep this box. So it's more shelf space, which is at a premium right now. So Command and Colors Medieval expansion number 1. Here is the rule book, which is mainly going to talk about, I think, the new units and have the scenarios in here. So here's your talking about your blocks. You're going to have to sticker them, more stickering. This is not a true block game in the sense of having a fog of war. You're going to put stickers on both sides, hence the more stickering. But so you can see what unit you're fighting against. And again, take a look at my previous video, which was very recent, on Command and Colors Medieval if you want to know a little bit more about how this game plays. But basically, you're going to have 3 lanes, center and 2 flanks, and you're going to draw cards, and that hand of cards is going to tell you what units you can move, whether you can move units from your right or left or both or all or some common combination, and also some special actions. And then you're going to be rolling dice and trying to match the icons with the units and do hits. And then when you do 4 hits on a group of units, then that unit is gone, and you get victory point. You potentially get victory points depending on how many you need to get for the scenario. Now that's a very, very high level, but that gives you a gist of what you're doing here. Here's some of the different units. As I said, there's this book. This expansion has I think as many units that are in the base game. They're really adding a whole lot of new units in here. And so here's setting up the game, a game turn. Now, again, this plays just like the core, except you're going to have new units and a few new rules that go along with those units, and then the scenario. So here's all the different units, the new units. Here's your Templar and Hospitaller foot, and you're going to have mounted and all kinds of fun stuff here. So we're getting into some knights. So we're getting into, this is the heaviest cavalry or horsemen that we've seen to date. Even heavier probably than Napoleonic. Of course, Napoleonic has guns. But you're also getting some, some heavily armored foot units as well. Here are some new special rules, some clarification. This is clarifications to the rules that were in the core box. Not a lot there, about a page and a half of clarifications. Didn't say errata, it said clarifications. And now we're getting into the scenarios. May 16th. Oh, man, I'm going to have to do that. That is my birthday. So I might just cover that on my birthday. I love games. I love it when a plan comes together. I love finding battles or historical events that happen on my birthday, and I kind of have a connection to it. So I usually try to play it or talk about it at some point. So these are all the battles here. You're going to get the normal setup. You're going to have to use the board and the terrain that are in the base set, and there might be some new terrain in here as well. And then you'll use this board that's in the base set, and here's your setup of your units. And this just shows one unit, but if that unit has 4 in its unit, then you're going to put 4 there. Some might have 3, and you'll put 3 there, and so on. That's all explained in the setup and in the explanation of the different types of units. Antioch, Ascalon, Ramla. Well, there's like 3 of them. Here's Haran. Let's get to some of the real sexy ones here. A lot. There's 20 in here. I think there's only 19 in the first one, so you're actually getting more battles here. Montescard, that was a very interesting one. I think that's the one where the Crusaders or the Christian forces were, I think they caught them napping in that one. I got to go back and look at that one. I got to check my history. July 4th, Horns of Hotten. Here we go. That's an interesting one. And we got several of those. It's kind of cool. Then we have here's all the scenarios laid out here. Huh. Thought we would have our Soof here, but I guess we don't. We got Hotten. That's a good one. Or Hatton. Let's call the whole thing off, right? So here's some of these markers here. These are counters, I guess. Or I should say that I don't guess they are counters. But little thick, good thickness, and these will, tell me how many victory points you get. Like if you eliminate so many of those units, I think this keeps track of that, I believe, and some other special counters that are unique to Medieval. Then we're going to get into some terrain. Got some new terrain here. Got some ponds and some rivers and some bridges, or streams and some bridges. Some high ground, some rough ground, some camps, and some walls. There's some of that in the base game as well, so you can just add to it. And then, of course, here's your good old friend, the stickers. So as you can see here, all the different units, and you sticker on both sides. And they usually have spares in here. If you botch the job, which I am apt to do, that's why I do not like stickering. I am not a detail person when it comes to miniatures or painting or stickers or even counter clipping. So one of my weaknesses, one of my many weaknesses. All right, so here's your the expansion reference card. So it's going to give you your units and its class, move, fire dice, close combat, all the stuff you need to know for those units. And there's two sides to it, and there's two of them because, normally you play with an opponent. Then we're going to have some of these special cards. I wasn't sure what these were when I talked about the base game, but I think these are special inspire leadership actions, and they're unique to the different factions. So you have the Crusaders, you have, this are the Sulkirks, Turks. Then you have those look like the same there. Then you have, there's more Crusaders, and then the Fatimid. I guess they have them on multiple sides so that you depend on what factions you're going to be playing with. You can always make sure you've got one of them available. And there you have it. So those are all the different. And those are on good thick stock here. Then of course you're going to have lots more blocks. I mean, this isn't as many as in the base game, but there's quite a bit of blocks there because as you saw in that book, in the game book, the rule book, there's a lot of new units in here. And then, of course, you got another set of dice. I don't think the die are any different. I think you just got more dice. I don't think you get any new cards in here. So I didn't see that in the contents. So I don't see any more cards. So you're still going to use the cards that you have in the same cards, the command cards, which basically mimics or simulates your command and control, or the chaos of control, or the fog of war, what have you, in the cards themselves. So there you have it. This is all what you get in a box of Command and Colors Medieval Crusades. Yes, a lot of goodies here to be told, to be had, to be played with. Yeah, we're here to play the games, right? There you have it. All the good stuff. Take a look at my previous video to find out a little bit more about the system and the base game. But I'm excited about this. I've always had an interest in medieval, but in particular the Crusades. In the previous video, I talked a little bit about was actually designing the game, or working on design of a game for the Crusades in the States of Siege system when that system was innovated and started with by Victory Point Games. And recently we lost the founder of Victory Point Games, who was the person I was talking to or working with to try to develop that game. So that was a long time ago, and it did not get developed, not because of anything Victory Point Games did, it's because what I didn't do, because I got busy. I got busy with life. I got busy with wife, got busy with kids, got busy with life. So anyway, but rest in peace, Alan, and the gaming world has lost a good one. Anyway, sorry sorry for the down note on that. Take a look at this Crusades, the first expansion for Command and Colors Medieval. This is interesting. If you like Command and Colors, this is a no-brainer. It's just adding another era and another whole different types of units and different challenges and different decisions to make. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Take care. Thanks for watching.